the smartest way to deal with toxic people without saying a word. Toxic people thrive on reaction. They feed on chaos, drama, and emotional outbursts. But what if the smartest move isn't to confront them, but to do nothing? Not out of fear, but from strength. In this long-form Stoic guide, we'll break down the most powerful, non-verbal responses you can master. You'll learn how silence becomes strategy, distance becomes clarity, and detachment becomes power. This is not about ignoring. It's about mastering emotional control. Stay grounded, stay observant, and let your energy, not your voice, do the talking. 1. Understand their patterns, but don't mirror them. Toxic people often operate from a place of emotional immaturity. They project their own pain, seeking reactions to validate their inner turmoil. If you respond in kind, you become entangled in their drama. But if you observe quietly, they lose their grip. The Stoics taught us to study the behavior of others like a physician would observe symptoms, not with judgment, but with curiosity. When someone is constantly blaming, provoking, or manipulating, your best response isn't anger, it's awareness. Understanding someone's toxic patterns doesn't mean excusing them. It means recognizing them for what they are and choosing not to internalize their chaos. Imagine a coworker who constantly gossips, complains, or undermines you. The typical urge might be to clap back or defend yourself. But the smarter move, be calm. Let them reveal themselves. Your restraint exposes their dysfunction faster than any argument ever could. Picture standing in a storm, winds howl, rain falls, but you're protected by a glass barrier. That's your self-awareness. You're not stopping a storm. You're simply not letting it reach you. I don't reflect chaos. I observe it. Their storm is not my weather. I choose presence over provocation. Who tries to bait me into emotional reactions? What's one pattern I've noticed and refuse to mirror? Inhale clarity. Exhale confusion. 2. Master the art of the grey rock. Toxic people look for emotional fuel. They poke, prod, and provoke, hoping for one thing, your attention. But when you become unresponsive, like a grey rock, boring, solid, and still, you take away their power. The grey rock method is simple. Respond with neutrality. No drama, no emotion, no elaborate explanations. You offer nothing that feeds their need for control or chaos. The Stoics believed that dignity is found in self-command. By becoming emotionally neutral, you stop being a participant in their game. They insult you. You don't flinch. They gossip. You don't react. They provoke. You blink slowly and move on. Eventually, they grow bored. Their power relies on your participation. Without it, they shrink. Picture a fire trying to ignite wet stone. It sputters, flickers, and dies out. That's the toxic person trying to inflame you and failing. I am calm. I am neutral. I am in control. I do not offer my peace as fuel. My silence speaks volumes. Ask yourself, when was the last time I kept my cool and it diffused a situation? What emotional triggers am I learning to master? Breath work, practice. Inhale neutrality. Exhale reaction. 3. Use time and distance as tools. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is leave space, not out of anger, but from awareness. Distance isn't avoidance, it's elevation. It allows you to see clearly, breathe deeply, and choose wisely. Toxic people try to collapse time. They pressure you into reacting fast, deciding rashly, and speaking before thinking. But the Stoic way is to expand time, to pause, reflect, and act from calm. By creating space, physical or emotional, you begin to break the invisible thread that ties you to their chaos. After a toxic argument, instead of texting back or defending yourself, you wait. You take a walk. You journal. You give it 24 hours. Suddenly, what seemed urgent now feels trivial. That's the power of space. Picture two islands slowly drifting apart. One is calm, sunlit, and grounded. The other is stormy. The farther they drift, the clearer the contrast. Repeat after me. I honor my need for space. I create room for peace to return. I am not obligated to be available to chaos, reflection, prompt. Where can I insert more space between myself and the drama? Who drains me? And how can I pull back respectfully? Breathwork practice. Inhale space, exhale noise. 4. Make boundaries felt, not said. True boundaries are not just spoken, they're embodied. You don't have to explain or justify them. When you consistently act in alignment with your peace, people start to feel the invisible wall. Toxic people often ignore spoken boundaries. They push, test, and manipulate around your words. But when your energy changes, when you stop being available, stop engaging, stop explaining, they begin to feel the shift. The Stoics believed that your character and consistency are louder than your words. So instead of announcing your limits, live them. You stop answering calls past a certain hour. You don't entertain guilt trips. You cancel plans that feel draining. You don't need to say, I'm setting a boundary. Your behavior says it all. Picture a calm sea that suddenly becomes untouchable, surrounded by a quiet force field. No yelling, no warning, just presence that cannot be manipulated. Affirmations. I don't need to explain my peace. My silence is my line. I act in ways that protect my energy. Reflection. Prompt. Where have I over-explained myself to those who don't respect it? What silent actions can I take to strengthen my boundary today? Breathwork practice. Inhale self-respect. Exhale guilt. 5. Let your evolution be the final statement. The most powerful way to deal with toxic people is to evolve beyond them. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with quiet growth. Your evolution is the one thing they can't argue with, diminish, or undo. Toxic people often expect you to stay where they left you, stuck, bitter, reactive. But when you heal, grow, and rise, they lose their script. They can't define you anymore. Your success becomes your silence. The Stoics didn't chase recognition. They lived in alignment. And in that quiet strength, they created undeniable impact. You don't fight the person who doubted you. You build a life they said you couldn't. You don't explain your worth. You embody it. Over time, those who tried to dim your light are left in the shadow of your growth. Picture a phoenix rising, not from fire, but from stillness. No announcement, No spectacle, just quiet, steady transformation. Affirmations. My peace is my power. I evolve in silence and arrive in strength. I don't chase closure. I become the proof. Reflection prompt. What version of me would make past pain irrelevant? What quiet steps am I taking that will soon speak loudly? Breathwork practice. Inhale purpose. Exhale the past. Closing reflection. Toxic people lose their power when you stop giving them energy. You don't have to shout, argue, or defend. Just be different. Just be wiser. Just be still. Let your silence echo. Let your evolution speak. Let karma finish what you never had to start. And above all, protect your peace without apology, without explanation, because your energy is sacred and your growth is the greatest response you'll ever give.